Thanks for joining us. Okay. So weather wars continue. September 24th, and it's kind of oh look, it's September 24th now. Other than that, I'm not really seeing anything. I mean, who knows? All these events are probably pulled out of a hat, basically. But next week we get a hurricane attack ourselves, so that's just great. So yeah, it gets better and better. Yeah, I'm just really looking forward to that. Turn Florida into Puerto Rico, and also have Queen of America. Oh yeah, I didn't have a picture of who that is. So that's good. I think people know who that is. It's not. Well, I guess it's the Kardashians. I guess. I'll go into that in a second. That's like a surprise. Shit. Lucky us. Queen Planet Timeline Wars. That's another reason why it's hard to see the future. So it's basically, it's very open up our abilities. Of course, you can't always see everything, but some people can't see the future or precog energy to a certain level. But there's also, there's good to that, but there also can be, mental attacks, things like that from something around those lines. Meaning, like you might be able to see the future, but you have something else you have to go through internally. So it's like, not everything is cut and dry. You can see the future, but then there's a price to be paid with that. You could say like a compromise or something around those lines. The weather wars continue. Of course, we're going into the winter stage. Of course, we're not quite there yet. But yeah, it looks like the hurricane energy is tapping those energies. Just it's kind of like a reset. There is like but weather, obviously people already know this. Weather anomalies can be used as attack. Of course, the fires, California. Yeah, I think I went through the California energy. So, yeah, there's like Puerto Rico got decimated basically. It's absolutely ridiculous. Just so there's definitely an agenda there. That was definitely a reset for that. I mean, there's a lot of. I would say there is a Black Project energy there. So it's really hard to say. Planetary wars basically, and you know, whoever was in Puerto Rico or whatever was going on there obviously been taken care of. Of course, everyone else has to suffer with it too. Another way of looking at it, there might have been somebody there. I mean, who knows? It could be just. I mean, I think there's something else going on with the weather. I don't think that was just a regular hurricane. Especially it went by Bermuda, beat that up a little bit. Could have just wiped out Bermuda also, but Bermuda has a lot of elites there, so but it did pass by. But Nova Scotia is the. Let's see how that goes tomorrow. Jeez, it's gonna hit tomorrow, Saturday morning. So yeah, it's kind of a big deal. Interesting. I felt the hurricane that's out there now is going to Nova Scotia. I felt that thing could easily turn and go to New York City, which would be interesting. I mean, that day will come eventually. It kind of came in the past, but a hurricane in New York will happen one day. Who knows? One day, who knows when that'll be? They have enough to deal with as it is. They have enough political corruption to have to figure out. So, because that can cause a reset and even some of the corruption to possibly leave or make things worse. It's really hard to say on that one. But let's see here. Was prepared. So you hear about the Queen and all that. We have our own Queen in the U.S. I'll show that in a second. Shit. Yeah, lucky us. We have political royalty here. Well, yeah, we have Nancy. I'll just say it. So we have Nancy Pelosi. I've talked about her before, like a bunch of demon, basically reincarnated demon at this point. And of course, she hasn't made many headlines recently, but especially when they drink alcohol and all that, it fuels the demonic energies. So, yeah, the Queen of America is kind of a big deal. I don't think anybody's gonna be waving at her when when she drives by. Of course, she doesn't have the same loyalty as the Queen, but that's our Queen. Nancy Pelosi is practically a president of this country practically. She has a lot of control. Let's put it that way. That's why she's old as hell, falling apart, and still won't let go. So, and she's a puppet also. So somebody else. And it's interesting. Yeah, there's some CIA energies there, obviously. So yeah, definitely a lot of mind control there. Even artificial intelligence. She just creating timelines for us, making sure we're slaves. So, okay, going to all right, time to talk about calendar private sessions schedule. We have the shop here. Somewhere I got back, yesterday, threw everything off, so I'm somewhere in early September. Yeah, same situation here. We have the social network. We have the dating site. We have the first social network webinar and behind the scenes. And then what we're doing. So this is heading towards me. Of course, they make this all look like, I don't think it's going to turn. I think it's going to. So this is headed in my direction currently. Gotta love it, right? So it's. I think it's going to be like a category 1. It's probably going to hit further down Florida. It's not going to hit where I am. So they feel like it's going to be a category 3. I doubt that. It's going to be probably more like a tropical storm, a strong one for that matter. Of course, here it says a child. So they're trying to create a timeline here. So I don't think they're going to be successful with it. Gotta love it though. Can't hurt to try though, right? And then of course you have Nancy Pelosi as our president, our hidden president here. I imagine a lot of people are waving at her and kissing her ass and all that. Fuck us, they're so screwed with this. I think she's dialing down finally, but that's the president of the USA. So, the Queen of England that's haunting people in the astral. Yeah, September 24th. That probably won't. Other than the hurricane stuff, probably nothing's going to come of it. And of course, I guess we just have to live with this for the rest of our days. They're always going to come up with these dates, and nothing will come of it, unless it's Christmas or Halloween. It's like, yeah, they always come up with these dates, like this is going to happen on this date, and then nothing happens. And same thing with this. So, well, the hurricane is going to hit tomorrow, so we'll see how, or today. That's about it. Other than that, same old day. Sunday will probably be the same, nothing day. So what was it? The other one was it 2037 or some kind of nonsense? Whatever. Probably nothing's going to happen then either. I mean, of course, something will happen on 2037. I think they're talking about we're going to go to this new Earth or something. How can you have a date for that? Whatever. It's just more spiritual propaganda, as usual. Yeah, no, we have to go through our lives listening to all these dates, and nothing will ever come of them. But yeah, it gets a lot of headlines and conspiracy theories and all that. It's freaking ridiculous. Whatever. Okay, so enough about that. We're going to channel Nancy Pelosi, the Queen of America. Shit. Yeah, reincarnated demonic energies. No, what just happened? Something. I don't know. People need a wake up call. It's so interesting though. Like, tap into that energy of. Interesting. I felt like a separation, which is good. meaning that people start seeing people are now waking up to just not taking any of this seriously. People are there's conspiracy theory people that are just angry, got their guns, are ready to shoot the planet or shoot somebody or whatever. And part of that civil war energy, there's nothing wrong with that. A lot of them are still dealing with a lot of that, understood. But eventually you calm that energy down with the new generations, and you're just not this. It's like social media. You don't care about MySpace anymore. You don't care about. You'd start pulling away from the political energies, and you just start seeing it for what it really is, which is a good thing. Instead of having Nancy Pelosi dance around like a little demonic being, you actually see a demonic being there. We're not at that level yet, but we will get there. I don't know when. Just people not falling for any of this stuff anymore. I mean, it's happening now, but it's not happening on a grand scale. It's like it's political. Like even the government collapse, which would be great. Not to say we're out of the woods, but that would help with things to quiet down a little bit. And just that's going to be a big one, though. Of course, who knows when that'll ever happen? Not just a collapse of the U.S., but just the collapse of the government system in general, and for something more nicer to come in. I think that's what people want, right? Or the people take over instead of just narcissistic, millionaire psychopaths. That seems to be of course, they say they're for the people and all that, flying around their jets and all that nonsense. Yeah, more like a Greek style, more Senate, but more laid back, not too laid back. It's not perfect, but that's what we're heading into. One day. I'm not sure it's going to be in this lifetime. That would be, talk about currencies falling apart. It's hard to say. It'd be nice to see the government fall apart, though, that's for sure. Yeah, it's more of the lighter energy comes through, but basically the infrastructure has to break down. The system has to fall apart. Good luck with that. You never know. So, okay, all right, we're going to Weather Wars Consciousness, the Queen of America, and what else? Where that comes, where that goes, and Planet Timeline Wars. Like I said, Timeline Wars. It's hard to see the future. It's just a mixture of. It's just, I could see Astral finally one day dialing down. It's like some people right now might feel like they're going through a lot of attacks, and you are, but eventually that negativity will release, like they lost. They can't take it. It's a lot of individually, they're trying to kill people, basically. They're trying to drive you crazy. Well, you would kill yourself. That's what they want you to do. Those that are in this awaken. That's what people feel like this is all spiritual, high vibration, but literally there are entities trying to make you, off yourself. That's a serious, and it's true. It's people might not realize that. You might be going through depression or whatever it might be surprised there are entities trying to kill you, literally. And after a while, I feel like they have to give up eventually. But that's the test. It's messed up. It's really screwed up. It's like they keep pushing you, and eventually they have to just stop. Yeah. Who knows when that will stop completely is another story. So that's some serious stuff there. So you're not going to see that on the evening news. So, all right. The parasite energies, things like that. They're just doing what they're there to do. So, okay. All right. We're going to weather war energies and the Queen of Damnation and Timeline Wars. Okay. Blessings. Grease you. This is the consciousness of Mother Earth. Not all the consciousness, but Mother Earth frequencies, the Mother Earth energies has to let the world, or humanity figure things out. So sometimes, yes, you need a storm, you need certain situations to occur. It's if it can't. Humanity has to realize it. Has to realize your situation. It's like being in an abusive relationship. Eventually, you have to realize the abuser. To remove the parasite energies. So this is why certain events they have to happen. It's like not everything has to happen, but there are sometimes you can get hit with too much negativity, and that does happen a lot with many. Of course, with Puerto Rico, there's a recess. You can say there is agendas to sink Puerto Rico all together, and some of that's coming from your government, your shadow government that just wants to get rid of it because they can't fully control it. That's one aspect of it, but it will survive. But yes, when you watch an island get attacked like that, people get attacked also. They feel like they're being drowned by negativity. They're being drowned on a daily basis. It's true. So a weather anomaly is one thing, but a life anomaly is another. When you feel like you're getting attacks all the time, which many of you do feel. It's not just for at least Puerto Rico went through it. Yes, it'll have repercussions. That to rebuild that will take years. But the attack was one day. Of course, the attacks continue in different ways, but an individual can go through attack for months, years, their whole life, and not even know it. It's just a called normal everyday life. So yes, you come in here to heal the archon energies. Yes, as you already know, releasing the demonic realms, but it's not always clear how the demonic realms work here because you can't see them. So you come here to, yes, deal with the pain, but eventually to unlock it. So wonder, it's survival. Yes, it truly is mental, physically survival. Of course, your common humans don't really. Yeah, they a lot of them are given a pass. They don't have to go through all of this because some of you are going into the lower astral to literally shut those timelines down. It is not an easy defeat. And your common people are just like, wow, that person's crazy. And just go back into their everyday. So you're actually fighting demonic beings and now you're knowing it. And there's an astral war, of course, connected to that. It's just your people, not everybody can handle, like in a war, not everybody can, have the biggest sword or be a commander or things like that. Not everybody can handle those positions. Some of you are in those positions. So you have your common people living their common lives, and you're out fighting war dimensional energies. Feel like you're going crazy, but eventually some of that will come more clear to you, how deep this is going. So the war isn't over yet, no, because the demonic energies that are controlling society. Well, it's like they take the common man and they use it against those of you that are in a spiritual development. You're here to fight the war, to basically get you to stop, to be like them, to mock you in some cases, to make things even more difficult. It's like, wow, you're crazy talking about aliens and all, spirit beings and all of that. It's like none of that exists, and yet you're dealing with it on a daily basis, and sometimes you just had enough of it all. Even the aliens, some of you just had enough of them too, or the angels, or whatever it might be. You've had enough of all of it. It's like, so, yeah, they're trying to push you to your brink. And your common people are as weaponized against you also. Not all. I mean, it'd be easier if you can go to anybody and just tell them what you're going through. Like you're going through mental anguish and just talk to anyone, and they'll understand. You go to your neighbor, you go to somebody a convenience store, whatever it might be. That would help a lot, wouldn't it? Just whatever it is. It doesn't have to be mental craziness, but that will help. And that because no one's understanding. And that's the point. People, the common man, woman, man, whatever, is used against you. It's just true. It's like a gateway. It's like to block you off. But many of you are spiritual warriors, and that warrior energy will come more clear. Yes, you'll see more demonic beings or whoever you're fighting. It can be angels, it can be anybody. It can be spirit guides. Whoever you're here to fight. Yes, and they see you clearly, but you don't see them. And sometimes you're not always meant to see them just yet, because it can be quite. You get to a level of like you start seeing things more clearly, but it's like fighting blindfolded, as many of you know. But yes, to endure, to continue. I mean, you obviously have no choice. You wonder what the purpose of your life is. Your purpose of life is just to live another day at the best of your ability. And you will be taken to where you need to be. You will find what you need to find. But some of you feel like you're out in the middle of the ocean, fighting unknown beings and demonic entities, and you feel like you're completely alone. And that's the design of this reality. But realize over time you become more clear of it. You will literally, it's like you get to a level, yes, where you can see these beings when the time is right. It's not there to drive you crazy. It just you come to a level of spiritual maturity, like you see the beings that are here. If you need to see it at all, it's not that important, really. I mean, really, just becoming to mental relief really matters the most. But if you're going through a lot of anguish right now, if you're going deep into the consciousness of this earth, and it is frustrating that humanity is clueless. Not to look down on humanity, no, but it's like kind of like a parent or a warrior that's just going into the trenches. And it can say this can be a movie one day. I mean, you've seen movies like that in your past, actually, of just, the heroes are going into the deep sides of life, the paranormal, and humanity is just, what the hell's wrong with you? So, well, the reason we bring that up is to give you some visual of what the hell you're doing. Because there's really they don't want you to know what you're doing. But you are going into deeper astral realms, unlocking the creatures that are here. And even those spiritually aware can attack you also, as some of you have dealt with. Like you think those are like-minded, awakened, and they end up causing you more difficulties because you're not always at the same level of each other. But some of them are there to sabotage. So you say, "Wow, that person's spiritually awakened. Why is that person attacking me?" Because that's part of the game. So September 24th and all that's up to you. Whatever you want to find that date. Someone defined the dates is like this is how it's when it's all over. It's never over until it's over. You'll know it when it's over. Greetings to you. This is a higher consciousness of, yes, Nancy Pelosi or those that feel like the elites of your world. Yes, they take a level of insanity and call it normal to dictate your reality. There's actually a Julius Caesar energy there, basically showing that we rule over you. We feel like we are in command. They feel as humans are minions. What's basically, it is an alien connection, as you can see. It does go to artificial intelligence, which goes to the Archon frequency. So, of course, as many of you know, humans can be projected here as looking human. Now, you're not always. Now, there are timeline shifts all the time. So, there are times when the human is human. There are times when the human is more of a projection. Now, the consciousness isn't always aware of it. It's a program that just continues on. But even then, meaning that a person like Nancy Pelosi, for example, can have 3 or 4 versions here and not know about each other. That's where it gets complicated. You're just living out your life, whatever it might be, and you can be shipped to another timeline, and the new one takes over. It's confusing, but not that confusing. Obviously, your average human is not there to understand it, but it's just the reality, the movie that you are in. Can easily derail. More of you see these political figures as for what they are. Some of them are creatures, and they can't hide themselves. Eventually, society will see them, but basically, it's the darkness. So yes, they become more blatant of how evil they really are. And that's when it really starts to break down. But when it slowly starts to break down is when when you see the demonic being for what it really is. So it has a bleed through to the human already. Yes, an old crazy person that has psychotic means, but over time you'll see the creature behind it. And some of you already have an idea of that now. Eventually, I would get stronger with it. I mean, mostly your common society is not designed for that. I mean, it can be. It can be reset. Society can be retooled, as some of you already said. It can be re-engineered. You see it all the time, actually, where it can accept the demonic being walking around. It hasn't quite got there just yet, but you're working towards that. Well, basically, so the shadow beings can no longer hide behind the human or reptilian beings, but the shadow beings are actually stronger than any reptilian. Well, basically, you call it the archon. And there are good archons and there's bad ones. The ones that are causing difficulties here is see, just like our parents, it just sees they can get it past you. Of course, they're vicious. They will kill you. They don't care. That means they want. That just shows you they don't want to lose. So the more that you continue on not being killed, they lose power eventually. Like if they set out to really kill you mentally and they fail, they can't get you to die or anything. They might want to die, might want to release. Yes, when you feel like you want to let go of this reality, they're coming after you. But if you feel like you want to die, that means they're really hitting you with everything they got. They're attacking you. You feel like, oh, today's not too bad. I feel decent. So they finally let up. When you feel like you're getting hit by everything, you feel like, oh God, I can't take it anymore. They're coming there. That's when you're going through your mental attack. So think of like all these little demonic energies coming after you. It's like little airplane being, kamikazes coming after you. So eventually those days will come clear. But basically, yes, you're decoding your reality. So this is a tough one. You might not get to your aliens as you wanted to, but the demonic entities can one day, yes, be seen here. Why not? I mean, some of them are getting tired also. You can say they get tired of being evil, they get lazy. I'm seeing that now. Like the January 6th, they basically invented that. Well, they need something to cause difficult. Yeah, they need to attack the people somehow. They can't just let you just be peaceful and pick up, eat apples and have a nice life. They have to show that they're in charge. People are getting pulled into this drama. Obviously, sometimes you have no choice, of course. But basically, many of you are putting the end of those timelines slowly. That's what the royal family. Royal family is there to cause more chaos, as you can see. It's a chaos family. As you can see, look how they are within their own family. It's like everyone in their own family, they're trying to tear each other apart, but then they do it to the people. When people are sophisticated enough to see that. But that's what it is. It's like an energy bomb, you can say, energy chaos that they're doing here. So, and they're just pawns in all of this, of course. They have no idea. So it's like everybody else. But slowly this will all start to break down. It's just the royal families. Do you need a royal family? No. You just need each other. You don't need a dictatorship because that's all it is, really. It's a dictatorship that's been shined up with wealth, very Romanistic energy. Ancient Rome, it's things have not changed. They just changed actually goes back to ancient Egypt. It also goes back to ancient Atlantis. The Atlanteans, the ancient the mystics, they know that color goes. There's Anunnaki there too, as you know. Attractiveness. That seems to be the selling point. And Anunnaki use attractiveness within their society forever. That's why they can't seem to get out of their troubles, because the manipulation of luxury, of beauty, they use it against each other all the time. Obviously, using it here to break it all down. For your royalty families to break down, not yet. People are emotionally designed to love the royal family, as you can see. So breaking those timelines could cause a lot of trauma. So it has to be done where they want to let go. And when enough of them let go, it can all eventually collapse. That's what you're working on right now. And for France, France has had enough of it. They weren't going to have that type of, during your French Revolutionary War, they had enough of it. They got smart fast. England, no. England's still old fashioned. Greetings to you. We are the reptilians. We're a consciousness of their energy field. Timeline wars, currently, it has to keep you confused, not focus on. You try to focus. People focus on themselves, but they feel like there's a distraction. Something's pulling away from yourself. There are, yes, many beings that they really, obviously, when you get more in touch with yourself, it's a game over for this planet, which many of you are doing, but you feel like there's still a distraction. It's like, yes, you might be connecting to yourself, you might be doing shadow work, but still feel kind of distant from yourself. It is because there is higher agendas, there are alien agendas, many of them here, that are keeping you from who you are, but you are breaking through them. And longevity, continuing every day, it's as difficult. It's like war. You're getting closer and closer to the main protagonist, the villain. You're getting closer to that. You go to different levels basically, and that's what's happening here. Yeah, you see many that are connecting more to themselves, but they still feel lost. Like you might be doing shadow work, but you feel like you're lost, and because that's the agendas, those that created humanity, all this chaos. Well, basically, to pull you from yourself, from your spiritual energy, to put dams, to put blockages from your spiritual connections as you continue your lifetime. That's why some live to a very old age, to break down all of these timelines. So sometimes your incarnation here just yes, you're telling off the manipulators basically. So you're not going to take me down as much as they want to, because they do. Because they know that you're breaking down these barriers, that they can't rebuild them. It won't be the same again. So think of like you're breaking through the belief systems as you're doing. You're just not seeing it. They don't want you to see it. But you're breaking down all these belief systems, and it's just not the same anymore. You're breaking through the cords just by being who you are, not want to be part of the system. And it really is wrecking a lot of timelines of control, like the doomsday realities that they're trying to create. That's why you come here, to stop that, just by continuing your life. As difficult as it is, it's difficult to figure out who you are and all of that, but it's like you're building like a fly swatter, but it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. You're creating a big fly swatter to break all the to take out the big fly or flies or whatever it might be. So basically, you're creating, like, we don't call it a weapon, but it's kind of like that, to really continue your energy to stop all of this. That's why, like, artists do art, like they leave their art here. It's like your belief system, like why you want to create anything, because your energy, your belief system is like you write a book or whatever it might be. You're leaving your energy here to stop them. So you do that throughout your life, and of course, others write other books to keep it going. But there are those that you write. But whatever it is, whatever you're doing, you're just bringing energy field where they can't. So many of you are breaking through a lot. They're making a lot of breakthroughs just by being here. You're doing more than just being here. You're just not seeing it. So the idea is just continuing your life to the best of your ability. That's all we have.